In a world defined by skin color, a single look can betray deep biases. This story explores the ripple effects of such a glance, exposing societal racism through one man's experience. It's not just an error, but a chain reaction of instant, prejudiced assumptions. A powerful, black CEO walked confidently into his company's sleek headquarters, only to be met with a cold, "Please wait over there," from the front desk. What happened next halted everything. Malik Bennett hadn't come to Chicago expecting trouble. His plan was simple: check in on his company, review some reports, maybe grab a quick coffee, and head to his next meeting. But the moment he stepped through the towering glass doors of Bennett Systems, the atmosphere shifted. What followed wasn't just a misunderstanding. It was a stark reminder of what still lingered. The elevator doors opened onto the 42nd floor lobby. Modern, clean lines, glass walls, polished with accents. Malik had built this. From a bootstrap startup in his cramped Detroit apartment to a $3.1 billion tech enterprise with offices spanning continents. At 45, Malik exuded calm authority. He was well-built from years of discipline, wearing a perfectly tailored navy suit, a crisp white shirt, and dark brown loafers that gleamed. His slim leather briefcase was in hand, his wedding ring catching the light. No assistant, no entourage, just him. Behind a reception desk sat a young woman, likely in her early 20s, scrolling through a tablet with an AirPod in her ear. Malik offered a polite nod. "Good morning. I'm here to see the executive team," he said. Her name tag read Rachel. She barely glanced up. "Do you have an appointment?" Her tone was flat, uninterested. "No appointment," Malik replied, his voice even. "I'm Malik Bennett." Rachel flicked her eyes up briefly, then returned to her screen. "Bennett? I don't see you on the schedule. You'll need to wait over there." She gestured to a small seating area near the elevator. Malik tilted his head slightly, a quiet, amused smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. "Over there." "Yes," Rachel said, louder this time, as though speaking to someone who couldn't hear. "No unscheduled visitors allowed. It's company policy." Malik didn't move. He glanced at the sleek metallic logo on the wall, Bennett Systems. His name, 2 decades of his life etched into that brand. Global contracts, thousands of employees, technology that powered portions of the nation's infrastructure. And now, in his own lobby, he was being asked to wait like an outsider. He took a slow, controlled breath. "Let me get this straight," Malik said carefully. "You're asking me to wait outside my own company?" Rachel offered a half-smile, but it was more patronizing than apologetic. "Your company, sir?" "Uh-huh. Sure. Just take a seat. I'll let someone know." She reached for the phone, barely concealing her boredom, treating Malik like an ordinary visitor who'd come in to fix the Wi-Fi. A man in a blazer walking by slowed down. 2 employees chatting by the glass water cooler stopped mid-conversation. Malik could feel the shift, the eyes on him, waiting, judging. It was the same feeling he had when he was 23, pitching his first app to a room full of VCs who kept asking, "But who really built this?" 22 years later, different building, same feeling. "Go ahead and call," Malik said, his voice steady. He leaned back against a nearby column, arms crossed, briefcase still in hand. Rachel dialed someone. "Yeah, there's a guy here, saying he's Bennett. No ID. Can you come check it out?" Malik pulled out his own phone, not to show ID, but to send a message to his COO, Lauren Pierce, front desk, 42nd floor. "Handle it." Then he waited, his gaze sweeping the lobby. He saw the hand-picked artwork on the walls, the furniture he'd personally approved, the layout he designed. Every inch of this place carried his fingerprints. And still, in this moment, he was invisible. Minutes ticked by. Rachel hung up, looking mildly annoyed. "Someone's coming. Please wait outside, sir." "I'm fine here," Malik said, unwavering. Rachel shifted uneasily in her seat, her confidence faltering. Then, the soft chime of the elevator doors opening, a woman stepped out onto the floor, her sleek navy dress and heels adding a professional air. She walked with purpose, and that is where it ends. For now, by midday, HR had reviewed the records. Rachel, a temp who'd been with the company for 3 weeks, had no prior issues. Lindsay, the floor manager, had been promoted 6 months ago. Her reviews were solid, but she had been flagged for gaps in inclusivity. Small signs, big impact. In the main hall, Lauren Pierce handed Malik a mic. "You ready?" "Been ready," Malik replied, stepping confidently onto the stage. The room quieted. He stood still, calm, composed, no pacing, no shouting. The mic was in his hand, his eyes scanning the room as he spoke. "Good morning," Malik began. "I'm Malik Bennett, your CEO. Some of you know me. Apparently, some of you don't. That includes the front desk." A nervous laugh rippled through the room. Malik's expression remained unchanged. "Today, I walked into a building I built from the ground up. My name's on the lease, the servers, the stock options, and I was told to wait outside. Not because I forgot my badge, but because someone decided I didn't belong here. Let that sink in." Silence followed. The room was still. "I'm not here to shame anyone or to fire people on the spot. I own this company, but we built it together. We're here to solve problems, not create them. Being invisible in my own company? That's a problem for all of us." He paused, his words hanging in the air. "This isn't just about a receptionist. It's about perception, power, bias. I've spent my life proving people wrong. Black kid from Detroit, no Ivy League degree, coding in my bedroom. I turned that into this. And still, when I walk in here, I become a stranger in my own company." Some employees lowered their heads. Others nodded slowly. Malik wanted them to feel that sting. He wanted them to understand. "Here's what's happening," he continued. "The office is closed for the rest of the day. No work until we get this right. Mandatory training starts now, for all of us, including me. We're not skipping this conversation anymore." He glanced at Lindsay, who was taking notes, her pen moving quickly across the paper. Rachel was already in a separate HR session. Malik wasn't ready to fire her yet. Not today. Sometimes, he thought, it took more courage to learn than to quit. "I'm not asking for perfection," Malik said. "I'm asking for awareness. Effort. If that's too much, then maybe this isn't your place. But if you're willing to do better, stay. I want you here." He handed the mic back to Lauren, who began outlining the schedule for the training. Malik stepped off the stage, his presence still commanding attention as the room's gaze followed him, not with fear, but with respect. Back in his office, his key card worked. He entered and took in a room, his space. Awards lined the shelves. A framed photo of his mother holding a Bennett Systems coffee mug from their first product launch sat on his desk. He sat down, exhaled deeply, and opened his laptop. Work could wait. The energy in the building shifted by the afternoon. Conference rooms weren't full of meetings. They were full of employees sitting in mixed teams, open circles, talking, sharing. Malik joined one such group, listening quietly as a maintenance staffer spoke about being overlooked for years. A junior developer admitted that, just the day before, she had mistaken him for a consultant. Malik shared his own stories, how he had pitched to venture capitalists, how his title had raised eyebrows, how many times people had looked past him. Downstairs, Rachel sat with HR. Malik didn't join them. Instead, he walked the halls, absorbing the quiet energy of honest conversations taking place. He heard snippets of vulnerability, of real change in the air. Lauren caught up with him by the staircase. "You've stirred something," she said. Malik smiled faintly. "Feels like year one again," he replied. "Back when we were hungry." He called Elena Ruiz, a board member. She didn't hesitate to offer her support. "You did the right thing, Malik," Elena said. "It's uncomfortable, but it's real." "I'm not done," Malik said. The next morning, the doors to the office reopened with a new sense of purpose. The walls were now filled with posters, handwritten suggestions from employees about making the workplace better. Malik approved them all. He allocated funds for immediate implementation. On the rooftop, he found Rachel alone. She looked uneasy, her eyes cast downward, her body language apologetic. "Talk to me," Malik said, his voice calmed, but Rachel's voice cracked as she spoke. "You just didn't look like what I imagined a CEO would look like." Malik nodded. "That's honest," he said. "Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever been judged based on how you look?" Rachel hesitated, the guilt in her eyes clear. "Yes." "Then you know how it feels," Malik said softly. "So why did you do it to me?" Rachel couldn't answer him. Malik's voice was firm but kind. I'm not firing you today. You're on probation. You'll undergo mandatory retraining. And I expect you to understand why this matters. I'm trying, Rachel said quietly. Try harder, Malik replied. You still have a job for now. Don't waste this opportunity. She nodded, looking down, and walked away. Malik stood at the edge of the rooftop, gazing at the skyline. The city stretched before him, glowing under the wide horizon. He remembered what his father used to say, don't let them decide who you are. Weeks passed. The changes were visible. Training became a regular routine. Metrics were tracked, and exit interviews asked harder questions. Lindsay took charge of a new culture task force. Rachel remained quieter but more engaged. Malik trusted Lauren to lead the charge, but he stayed close, present, watching the transformation unfold. One morning, a simple note appeared on his desk. Thank you for seeing us. Malik looked at it for a long time, then tucked it into his drawer and no press. No tweets, just real change. On a flight to Atlanta, Malik leaned back in his seat, calm. The world would keep doubting him, but he never doubted himself, and that was enough.